Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. For sure. All right, listen. Today is another pension alert video. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know what a pension alert is, it's essentially a segment where I cover struggling pensions in police departments across the country in a hopes to spark an interest, maybe a little bit of fear even in officers and first responders to take an active role in their retirement and not just sit back and wait on their government handout that is their pension. Because I promise you, if you are stuck on the teat of the government, then you're just subject to whatever happens to you. And that is what we're talking about today. This pension alert's a little different, but let's get into it. All right. So like I was saying before we got the intro, today's video is a pension alert. And we're going to be taking a look at the Department of North Chicago. But this pension alert isn't like the last few. Now, is the pension struggling? Absolutely. But when I was doing research and deciding which department I was going to highlight on, this article stuck out to me, man. This is exactly why I started this channel. This is exactly why I started this segment. Because this right here is gonna blow your mind. I know you guys haven't heard of this. Now this article came out a little while back in July. But listen to this. We're gonna get into it. It says North Chicago seeks to revoke pensions of disabled police officers who refuse to come out of retirement. I did not misread that. The city of North Chicago is seeking to revoke the pensions of disabled police officers who refuse to come out of retirement. Now, I know you're thinking, what? How is that even a thing? What do you mean refuse to come out of retirement? Oh, it gets better. It gets better, and this is why I preach do not solely rely on that pension, because I promise you, they know that they have you. If that is your sole income, if that's everything that you've ever done, and you're relying on that to live, then they have you by the you-know-whats. They have you. And this article is the perfect example. All right. So it says, the city of North Chicago is attempting to revoke the pensions of 3 retired police officers who were disabled after being injured on the job. The move comes after the city invoked a rarely, if ever, well, it's not that rare, right? Because they just did it 3 times. Rarely, if ever, used provision in state law that allows it to recall retired officers in the event of an emergency, which in North Chicago's case was its inability to fully staff its now closed 911 dispatch center. So, basically, there's some provision in their state law, like it was saying, that allows the city, if it's under an emergency, and it's basically using the COVID-19 as that emergency, to recall officers off of retirement. Now, apparently there's no stipulation to whether you're just a retired officer or if you were medically retired because you got hurt on the job. Apparently that doesn't matter. You have to answer the call, and if you don't, then they can take your pension. Crazy. And guess what? You can't say no. Because that's all you sat there and waited on. You didn't invest outside of the pension. You just wanted the government to take care of you after you did your time. And now look at the position these officers are in. Let's look at this. In an effort to save money, the city decided in 2018 to close its dispatch center and consolidate operations with one in Medellin. I probably mispronounced that. Oh well. A process that was finalized last month. The city said between generally low unemployment and the planned closure, it struggled to adequately staff the dispatch center. Sounds like some bad leadership. Guess what? Doesn't matter. These officers are paying the price for bad public administration. At one point, having only 6 employees available to cover 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The city is pushing forward with the revocations because it would be entirely unfair to the pensioners who upheld their responsibilities under the pension code if the pensioners who ignored the recall notices face no consequences for their actions, the city said in a statement to the News Sun. Now, isn't that convenient? Because they're so worried about being fair. That's the only reason why they're going ahead and they're really pushing to take these officers' retirements away. Disabled officers who were hurt on the job. The only reason why the city's going after them is because it wouldn't be fair to the other pensioners who got called up and were able to show who weren't retired because of disability reasons. Yeah, they're so nice. They care so much. The article goes on to say that the pensioners argued that the staffing issue wasn't a bona fide emergency and that even if it was, they should be excused for medical reasons. And guess what? I'm one to agree. I just got my master's degree in public administration, and I can tell you for a fact that whatever staffing issue that was created by the piss poor decision making of this city leadership has nothing to do with the officers. But at the same time, if these officers would have been taking other steps to pad their retirement and make it a well-rounded vehicle to make sure they wouldn't be placed in this situation, and guess what? They wouldn't be placed in this situation. So yeah, I agree. I don't think that the staffing issue is a bona fide emergency. I think that it was man-created, and piss poor leadership shouldn't result in this type of thing, but also they placed themselves in a situation to be victims of this. One of the officers says, "It's aggravating. This is the city that I got hurt protecting, mind you. I understand they have to run the city, but even if I wanted to go back, I'm still disabled. I'm still 1,400 miles away. What do they expect me to do?" Well, it's pretty damn obvious. They expect you to get your disabled ass on a plane and show your disabled ass up for work. Doesn't matter that you've been retired, that you were hurt on the job. You either do that or they take your livelihood, and they don't care whether or not you are actually physically able to work after that to earn income. You're essentially stuck between a rock and a hard place. Either take your disabled ass back to work, or they take your pension, and you're basically going to end up homeless. Chief of Staff Deb Wazak, again, probably mispronounced that, said she can understand why the pensioners might feel betrayed. But the city had to do something to keep the dispatch center fully staffed. Had to do something. Not hire more people. Not fire the public administrators who were responsible for this staffing issue. They had to do something. And the only thing that came to mind when they sat around that damn table and came up with a smart idea was to call people who have retired and are pulling pensions, and also call disabled officers who are pulling disability pensions, call them up to active duty. Man, that's cold-blooded, man. I don't even think the military does that. I know when you get out the military, you go on IRR, but I don't think if you get out of the military and you are medically discharged from the military, I don't think, even if we were getting invaded, I don't think there's a clause there where they call up medically discharged people from the military. But this city does it. And they had to do something because the staffing. She goes on to say, "We were trying to find the best option. And at the time, it seemed like this was the best option." Wow. "We've been totally disrupted and we still need to provide these services and look for ways to do so within our budget." The city even offered financial incentives to encourage dispatchers to stay on until the end, according to Wazak and the city attorney, Ben Gert. 8 dispatchers, 2 of whom were hired after the initial recall was issued, took the deal. But with vacations and other paid time off, the city couldn't always fill the gaps. So in an effort to address those staffing needs that they created, because of piss poor leadership. Last year, the city recalled 9 pensioners, one of whom the city excused right away, Gert said. The city then filed paperwork with the pension board seeking to have the pensions of the other 8 revoked since they didn't report for duty. And some didn't respond at all. Yeah, you know what? I'm retired. I've been retired. I don't even care if it's a year. I don't even care if it's a year. If I've been retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 years, and the city I work with sends me some type of correspondence to show back up to work, yeah, I'm going to act like I didn't get that notice either. That's just facts. Especially if I was medically retired. Get out of here. Since then, 2 of the pensioners reported and have met their obligation to the city. Each pensioner who worked 2 days, Wazak said. Each pensioner worked 2 days, Wazak said. She didn't know how many hours they worked each day. She also said that the city also agreed to excuse 3 more pensioners. Now, here's the thing. At the beginning of this article, it said that this was a rare, hardly ever used tool that the city could. It sounds to me, even with the one, it sounds to me like they're using the hell out of this thing. It don't seem that rare to me. It's like more than 10 people right now. So, not that rare. Not that rare. Here's what the officer said. It's unsettling, said Lawrence Wade, who retired in 2003 after 24 years with the North Chicago Police Department. He went on disability after he tore the cartilage and ligament in his knee when a man he was arresting slipped while attempting to walk down a steep embankment. I didn't do anything wrong, Wade said. Since the pandemic, I told them my conditions. I don't have a spouse. I'm out here alone, an entity of one. If they take my money, I'm indignant and probably homeless. It was very stressful, or it is very stressful. And guess what? They don't care. They're still fighting this. They're still going on right now. But this is the pension alert that I want to go over for you guys today because this article caught my attention. This is exactly what I am talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why you have to take your retirement in your own hands because the city can find no other way. We need the people. We need the bodies to continue the services. And the only way that we can do it is if we call our disabled retired officers up from retirement, even though they moved out of the state, under the threat that will take their pension. If you're okay with that, and if you think you're safe and all you've done is sit there and wait around for your pension, it doesn't matter if you've been retired for 15 years. It doesn't matter if you've been retired for 20 years. You aren't safe if that is the only thing you have. Because they can pull some shit like this and get you. So, hey, you know what? This is just information. This is just information. All I can do is provide the facts. It's up to you to decide what you do with the information. All right? That's it for today. It's been a pension alert. Xavier, CRC. Hey, before we get out of here, if you like the video, as always, like the video. It helps out so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, this pension alert's a little different, but let me know what you guys think. All right? Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell if you haven't already. All right? I'm going to get on out of here. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.